The gun trips open switch is another one of those concepts where I use to get a receiver open underneath by hot route and another receiver on a curl route, and that's going to open up the receiver running the spot route underneath. So let's go and take a look at it on the field. We're going to run this against the nickel 155 prowl. We'll just see how it runs so I can give you an idea exactly what I'm trying to show you here. Again, let's look at the receiver right here. This is the wide receiver 4. In this case, it's going to be Hardy. Right now, he's running a flat route. What we want him to do is we want him to run a curl route and extend it. So let's go ahead and extend that route. And the other thing we need to do is go ahead and hot route the 2 outside receivers on fades or streaks or whatever. We can also hot route, like Evans, we can hot route him even on a slant out. We'll point that out here in just a minute, something you can do with that from this particular formation. Now, let's go ahead first off. Let's go ahead and let's look at Parrish running that spot route. That's the receiver we're going to throw to because that's the idea of this concept. Again, we're running this against the nickel 155 prowl cover 3. So let's just take a look at it. You can see how open that Parrish will get. Don't expect to pick up a lot of yards with this. If you get 3 to 5, that's about what you're going to probably wind up getting, maybe a little bit more. But you're going to pick up some nice yards there. Right there we picked up about 5. So that's one thing you can do with that. Now, let's do another thing here. Let's add another element to this. So again, let's go ahead and hot route that guy on a curl, which is Hardy, and extend it. Oops, hot route him on a fade. Let's do it again. Hot route him on a curl. And then let's go ahead and hot route the halfback on a drag route, and then motion him over to the left. Now, when we motion him over, he winds up running that little drag route. Now it becomes a flat route, more or less. So that'll hold any, making sure no defenders would come over there, just in case any defenders might come over there to try to guard that spot route. This definitely will keep them from doing that. And the other thing is, if they were to come out in some kind of defense where maybe no one's playing the flat or, like playing cover 4 or something like that, then you'd have another option to throw to. Now, back here, we're going to do something with him in just a second, too. We're going to hot route him again on a slant out. I just want to point this out to you about something you can do with that, and I'll show a little bit more in depth on that in another breakdown here. But let's go ahead and look for Parrish again, running that little spot route underneath. Again, you can see how open he gets. We picked up about, 4 or 5 yards again. So that's kind of nice with that. So that gives us a nice option with there. Now, earlier I mentioned we could hot route this guy over here on a slant route. I'm not going to do all the other hot routes over here for right now. I'm going to leave those guys all alone because I don't want to do anything else with them. Well, let's go ahead and let's do it so I can point this out to you. So let's go ahead and hot route him on a curl and extend it, and then hot route the outside receiver on a fade over there. And then take control of Lynch after we hot route him on drag and motion him over. Now, say that we didn't want to always throw to Parrish. Maybe our opponent got wise and started sitting on that route. Well, there's another route that we could throw to here, and this is against cover 3. And even cover 4, you can get away with it, especially against certain defenses. And again, I'll point that out here in just a second. Let's go ahead and run this and look for Evans. Now, what you want to do is you want to throw this really quick, and you want to throw it at the 3 o'clock position when you're going to throw to Evans. So let's go ahead and snap it. Now, the other thing is you got to keep an eye on that corner. This particular corner here, if you see him step up initially once the ball snapped, then you don't want to make this throw because it's cover 2. But if you're pretty sure your opponent's in cover 3 or cover 4 and you see him dropping back after the ball snap, you can make this throw, and most of the time you're going to be able to complete this. And that's usually good for about 7 to 8 yards when you do that. Again, watch what I did here when I made this throw, and I threw it hard right. I mean, this is a hard right throw. It's a bullet pass. Again, you can kind of see what we're trying to do here. See how fast that's being out. You just got to throw that really quick. And the cool thing about this particular formation is, if you were to come out any kind of defense, like for instance, let's go back out of here real quick, and let's show you something else here while we're in here, because I really wanted to talk about this. Let's go back in the same play again, and you can run this pretty much against any type of thing. Like for instance, come out as dollar normal or dollar normal defense and run cover 4. Now I want you to look at something on the field right off the bat. Do you notice this linebacker right here? That's not a linebacker, excuse me, this cornerback right here. Notice how he plays inside further? That's because there's no receiver lined up out here. If there was a receiver in this area here, then he would line up over here. And really nothing your opponent can do to bring him outside unless he manually moves him. I mean, he can do all he wants as far as the freezing and all that. He can show a fake blitz. He really ain't going to get anything to have him do anything. The cool thing about that is it makes it harder for that guy to get out there to cover this quick slant route against like cover 4 and cover 3. Because if he was out here playing the buzz zone, there's a chance he could get out here fast enough to defend us. Because he's not out there and he's pinched inside further, you can throw these slant routes to this in this particular formation. Now, there's other formations you can do this with, and you can even create some of the stuff on the fly, and I'll point that throughout these from the gun video playbook. But let's go and take a look at Evans here. And when you make this throw, again, you want to throw it hard right. You see what I mean about that? And a lot of times you can complete that pass, consistently complete that pass when you do that. And that's what I like about this particular formation is that allows you to throw these quick little slant out passes and usually pick up, 7 to 10 yards. Let's do this again. Watch that linebacker again. Right there, and you can see what happens right there. Or not linebacker, but the defensive back who's playing that buzz zone. He just doesn't get out there fast enough to help that guy out and leaves that guy open. So he picked up about another 7 yards. So again, my reason I wanted to show that to you was because, say for some reason they did take that away from him, just some odd reason. Well, if they did that, again, you could work your way back to that other combination I showed over here between Hardy and Parrish. And you can just go ahead and motion this guy over. And you get that same thing. So say that guy wasn't open on the outside. Maybe I didn't make that throw. Well, then I just dump it underneath to this guy right here. And we picked up about 8 yards. So maybe I didn't make that throw there. So that should be your first read. If you're going to have him on the slant out, that should be your first read. Just watch the cornerback. Your second read would be working your way back over to the spot route ran by the receiver running the spot route over on this side, on the trip side. So again, you run over if you got this guy running that slant out. Again, if he's running the slant out over here, you look to him first. If he's not open, then you look for this guy right here. If you look from the top-down view again, let's just go ahead and look at this because something else I wanted to point out. Again, watch out that linebacker. Now, that linebacker jams me initially, but then he sinks back, and then he has to defend this guy here. And he keeps defending that guy, and ultimately leaves this guy wide open underneath for that short pass underneath to pick up, anywhere between 3 to 5 yards is good. Here I picked up actually a little bit more with it. So expect at least pick up 3 to 5 with this particular concept.